have you with us on a Monday afternoon. Yours truly, Christopher Russo. Broadcast day kicks off as we talked about what's going on as far as the world of sports is concerned. Hi, everybody. How you doing? As this afternoon moves here, snow again in the Northeast. Hopefully a little better weather as we move through this winter in late February. Colin Schmeling, who's been a COVID casualty, feels like he's got a terrible cold, but the big soldier that he is, you'd want Colin in the trenches with you. Always works, never takes a day off. There every day that you're there. He's just unbelievable, his work ethic. He has returned today to do a couple of hours with us. And Eddie Erickson, of course, he back in the shop. Eddie, after that last week mistake with the Universal, him and Dave Horvath got a mix-up. So you missed 6 songs from Roger McGuinn, including a power rendition of Chimes of Freedom, where you had the whole band there for 25 minutes. We didn't get that because we had the Universal in to make sure you gave you an NBA cut of the Suns and the Jazz. Anyway, welcome. Nice to have 888 Mad Dog 6. That's your two-way sports talk telephone number on our Monday afternoon on this 22nd day. We'll take you right up until 6. Good to have you with us. And let's get the show and put it on its track. So I'm going to start this today with a combo scenario of Tiger on the one hand and Djokovic on the other. That's where we're going to begin, and we'll see where that takes us here in this first 15 or 17 minutes, and away we go. Now, I did not hear it. Let's start with the former first. I watched a lot of the event, but for whatever the reason, I did not see the Nance interview with Tiger. I must have been watching too much of the Genesis interview that Jim does with the sponsor. So I missed the Tiger scenario, who was at the LA Open at Riviera because Genesis and his foundation are sort of joined at the hip. And I did not realize that Tiger was going to be there, nor did I know that Tiger was out with Nance. But I read all the quotes, and it definitely seemed like very, very precarious Tiger's possibilities of playing in the Masters in about 5 weeks. I was surprised. You know, we didn't really know that much about this disc surgery that he had on December 23rd. You know, he's had so many back surgeries that we have almost taken these surgeries for granted, and we shouldn't. You know, we saw Tiger play with his son in that event in a short time after he had this disc operation, and I guess he hasn't been able to do that much since as far as preparation is concerned, even lifting up a club. So the idea of him being ready for the Masters the second weekend in April is dubious, and that would be a big hit for the event without Tiger. We're at the point right now that I think most of us think we have seen probably the last great Tiger. He had that great run there for about a year and a half where he, of course, won a major, almost won a British Open, losing to Molinari. You know, played very well in St. Louis in the PGA, losing to Koepka. You know, he had good tournaments, but ever since he won that Masters, he has it almost like it was his last hurrah. I hope I'm wrong, but it was almost like it was last hurrah. He got tired. He wasn't feeling well at the PGA that year at Bethpage. I remember we were out there to do those shows. You could tell he was a little flat then, and he really has not been on top of it since, you know, whatever that might be. 38th at last year's Masters in October. He didn't qualify at Winged Foot. It didn't make the cut. So it's been a rough stretch for Tiger since he won the Masters in April of 2019 for major number 15. Still 3 or 4 away from breaking, 3 away from a tie, 4 away from breaking Nicklaus's all-time record, and he's still 1 tournament away from breaking Sam Snead, who right now the both of them are joint 82 PGA Tour wins, and he's 1 away from breaking that record too. I don't know. Now, I guess there's always a chance that he can win a tour event, although he doesn't play a lot. But you have to be very, very concerned right now if we have seen the last aspect of greatness from Tiger. I mean, if he tells you on, you know, late February, about 4 events out from the Masters. You got the you got a match play in Austin. You got this World WGC event this week in Bradenton. That's the one that's usually in Mexico City. You have the TPC and you got Bay Hill. You got 4 events. That's not a whole hell of a lot of events. There might be one other one in the meantime. I might be event off, but the bottom line is the Masters is going to be here before you know it. And you have to be very, very concerned right now where Tiger is, you know, not just in playing in it, but where his preparation is going in. Let's say that he was 100% healthy, which, you know, is going to be dubious. Before that event, is he going to have a chance to play a tournament, get the kinks out, so to speak, before he shows up in Magnolia Lane? I mean, you have to be worried right now about where Tiger is his story. Listen, he's 45 years of age. It wasn't going to go. Wasn't going to go on forever. We got a tremendous blast of Tiger a couple of years ago, which is very, very significant. I think the younger audience, don't forget he hadn't won a major from '08 on. I thought the younger audience, the Jais of the world, is a perfect example. Not that, Jai would follow it. Our fan base here are part of the family. Jai, for instance, he got a chance. My sons got a chance to see Tiger, at his best when he won that Masters on that Sunday afternoon, and that was a huge event. Plus, he had a great year the year before that. He won a tour championship, of course. He won that event in Atlanta. Didn't win the tour championship overall, but he won that Atlanta event. He almost won a couple of majors. So we saw a little ray of sunshine out of Tiger for a period there of about 16 months. And you wonder if that's the last ray we're going to get. I mean, when I heard about the Nance and read the quotes, that concerns me. Because, the Masters is his best chance anyway, as you know. That's his best opportunity. Knows the course. It suits his game. It's a special place for him. That's the last spot. So the Tiger and Phil, I don't want to put Phil in Tiger's class, but he won 5-2, and he's talking about the Champions Tour right now at 50. The Tiger run, you hope he's got a little left in the tank. But, when you have disc surgery on December 23rd and it's about your fourth or fifth one, and you basically haven't done anything since except go to the gym and rehab, that is concerning. So I'm not sure where we stand with that event. And the other thing, of course, about the weekend in golf, that's a good event, the Riviera, but my goodness, Tony Finau, I don't know if it's him, if it's luck. He's such a nice guy, and he shot a 64 yesterday, yet still lost in the last. And he got a break on 18 when Homer missed the putt, and he still lost on a second extra playoff hole. 21 top 5 finishes since his last win in Puerto Rico in 2016. We will get to that. Now, as far as the other aspect of it here today, and that's Djokovic, let's spend a few minutes on that. I did not, and I usually do. I tried to stay away from any score. I woke up yesterday at 7 or 6:30 instead of waking up at the 3:30, 4 o'clock range to watch it live. I stayed. I said, you know what? I know it's on at 8. It's Medvedev and Djokovic. I don't think Medvedev's going to win. I don't want to be taking naps all day. Let me see if I can sneak it in and figure out a way to get up and stay away and put it on at 8 o'clock, and away we go. And it would have been fine, except the idiot, your favorite little talk show host, left it on ESPN the night before when I was watching whatever I was watching, and I didn't switch off the channel. So as soon as I put it on at 8:01, it was right in time for SportsCenter, and I see Djokovic with shaking Medvedev's hand, so I figured Djokovic had won. So it kind of ruined the surprise for me, but as it turns out, nothing much was ruined anyway. I mean, Djokovic, after a little hiccup in the first set, he won the first 3 games and then lost 5 of the next 7, and it was 5-5. And a little hiccup started the second when he was broken on his first service game after he'd won that opening set 7-5. That was a day in the park. Hour and 38 minutes. Medvedev was hot coming in. He had won 20 straight matches. Medvedev, as PMAC told us on Friday, had played well against Djokovic, lifetime 3-4 against him, and having won a set, played well in the Open final against Nadal 2 years ago, so he didn't think the moment would be too big. And of course, the moment turns out to be too big. Medvedev gets, behind the 8 ball, recovers, bounces back, loses the first set, 5-6. He loses 3-4 point. He got the love 40. He held off, and then he lost the 6 point to lose the set. He gets a break, and then he loses right away that break, and he never looked up. He never breathed another breath of air, and he gets swamped by Djokovic, and Djokovic now wins his 18th major. This is not about Medvedev yet, or Thiem, or Tsitsipas, or Zverev. This is not about those 4 guys yet. I mean, Thiem, I think, is the best of the 4 of them. He's won a major, albeit Djokovic disqualified and Nadal didn't enter and Federer didn't play, but he won the Open last year. He's also played very well in the majors against some of these guys. I mean, he had Djokovic in big trouble last year before losing in 5 sets in the Australian Open final. He beat Djokovic at the French Open. He's played Nadal well, beat him in Australia, beat him at the almost beat him at the U.S., won sets in the Paris. I think he's the best, but he's still got to win some tournaments against these big 3 too. It's incredible what these three do right now. And as I've said to you in the past, I'll say it again. I think Djokovic overall is the best of the threesome. Nadal and Fed have the 20. Djokovic now has 18. If you want to do the breakdown, as we had a little time with it on Friday, 13 of the 20 for Nadal are in Paris, 8 of the 20 for Roger in London, and now 9 of the 18 for Djokovic are now in Australia. He's 9-0 on that court. He's won 3 in a row. He's almost as dominant on that court as Nadal is on at the French Open, and that's really saying something because this court in Australia is a neutral court. Nadal specializes, the clay specializes in his game. Federer gets helped on the grass in Wimbledon. This court specifically is supposed to be a neutral court. It's a hard court, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but it's a hard court. Everybody has an equal opportunity to have a chance to win there, yet somehow, some way, it's Djokovic every single year. I mean, 9-0 in the Australian Open is pretty damn good. But, it's the first tournament of the year. Who knows why? He's refreshed. He's raring to go. But he's been dominant. He can't beat him in that court. And he's beaten everybody there, too. Murray, Medvedev, Thiem, Nadal, who he romped over on one occasion he romped, another occasion he beat. He's beaten Federer there. I mean, phenomenal. And I think at the end of the day that Djokovic, who is Gumby as he plays, and Djokovic needs the opponent to bring out the best in him as far as stylistics are concerned. Watching Djokovic pummel Medvedev is not interesting. Watching Djokovic hold off and somehow defeat Federer and Nadal is. And when he has the opponent that he can beat, Djokovic is not as exciting to watch as he is when he's going up at one of the other big two. That's just the way it is with Djokovic. You can watch Nadal against anybody. You can watch Federer against anybody. I don't think you can watch Djokovic against anything because his game is, basically retrieving defense, converting into a low offense, and outlasting the opposition. I mean, that's essentially his game. Consistency, he's improved, but that is his game. And, listen, at the end of the day, I think Djokovic, is going to have more majors than the other two. And this is a day, after all, we talk about major championships with Tiger really thinking now that this could be it at him ending at 15. Right now, this is the day you think about majors. I mean, 20 and 20 for Nadal and Federer. You got to figure that Nadal's got a good chance to get to 21 after the French Open. But he's a year older than Djokovic. He's a little more injured than Djokovic is. Djokovic likes to pretend he's always injured, but, he was certainly fresh as a daisy these last 2 or 3 rounds here in Australia, despite a abdominal issue. But the bottom line is I think at the end of the day, if you judge it on that, I don't, but if you judge it this way with who has the most majors is then automatically classified as the best all time, well, I think it's going to be Djokovic. Now, I think Djokovic is better than the other two anyway, but I think based on the idea that he will probably end up with more than Nadal, and Nadal will probably win another couple. I mean, I don't see anybody beating him in Paris. So, I mean, I think he'll win another couple. I think he'll probably get to 22. I don't know if Federer is going to win one. I'd have to say no. And that means Djokovic would have to win 4 more. And I don't see how he can't win 4 more. And I think Djokovic is better than the other two anyway. He's got a better head-to-head record than the both of them. He's better head-to-head against Federer. He's got a better record against Raj. He's got a better record against Nadal. That's the first thing. He's also beaten Nadal in Paris, which is hard to do. He won a French Open when Nadal was in the field. Federer did too, but Nadal was injured when Soderling beat him. Djokovic has beaten Rafa on clay, and he's beaten him on that court. And he really should have beaten him twice. He got a bad break on another year where he lost 9-7 in the 5th set, where he got a net court issue. His racket hit the net, lost a big point. He should have won him that year, too. Should have actually beaten him twice. But he's beaten him once on that court. I think Djokovic at the end of the day is the best. And I also like his distribution of championships. He's got 1 French, 8 Australians, and he's got I think it's 3 U.S. Opens and 4 Wimbledons. I think it might be more now. It might be 5 Wimbledons. Whatever it is, he's got multiple in the other 2. He's got 10, and then he's got 8 to go. I think he's got 5 Wimbledons and 3 U.S. Opens. I think that's what it is. So I like that distribution. Again, the issue for me with Nadal is the distribution angle. 13 of the 20 is in a one event. That bothers me a little bit. My issue with Federer is that Nadal's beaten Federer on his favorite surface, and Federer has not come close to beating Nadal at his. No, he's beaten him on clay, but I mean in Paris. And he does not have a winning record against Djokovic. And Djokovic has beaten Federer a couple times, if not 3, in London. So I think Djokovic at the end of the day is going to be the number one player of all time. That's my. Now, it's not the most exciting, and he may not be the most fun to watch, but I think and he needs the opponent to bring out the best in his own game. But I think the best player that you're ever going to see in tennis at the end of the day is Novak. Tiger will not catch Jack. He's not. I mean, he won 82, and he obviously has 15, but he's not as good as Jack. The players, more depth nowadays, but the top tier are not as good as Jack's group. Jack's better. You just saw those two. He's got 3 more majors. He's better. But Tiger, for our period at least, the best in his sport. We'll take a timeout. We continue. It's 17 after the hour, and you're listening to Mad Dog Unleashed. Returning after this. No